Hello, this is Josh Hunter. I'm here on the planet Earth, and I got some things I want to say. Now, I just tried to record this, and I don't have a phone number, and so the YouTube wants me to verify, and I can't. It won't let me record past 15 minutes, so that's why it's always 15. That's why my videos are never longer than 15 minutes. It has to. That's why it has to verify. That's why, so it's asking me to, I made a video, but it wasn't, Anyway, I didn't realize, I've never, anyway. So, I have a question, and the first time recording I was nervous, and now I'm even more nervous. I feel like eventually this might be my undoing. Fuck. Alright, there's a question I want you to think about, okay? Now, as I'm saying this, 23% of me is trying to get you to believe in something, only because I want you to believe this, but I have not verified the thing that I'm wanting you to believe. That's why it's only 23%. Once I've verified the things that I am saying, then I'll probably be I'll probably be more like 65% trying to get you to believe something. Most of the time when I am saying things in these videos, it's just for my own personal, well, not personal, well, yeah, my own research. There's certain things that I need to understand, and I need to hear myself say it. That way I have an idea to tell the difference between something that's unusual and something that is actually crazy. So, oh man, this is gonna hurt. Well, it's not gonna hurt me, but oh man, all right, here we go. Well, I tried to tell people. I said, look, you only got, you leave me out here 7 years. You think no one's gonna? If people think that they have been going on in their life and I have nothing to do with their successes, all right, that's kind of arrogant. I've done my research. I know who has benefited and who has not. I know that much, and I'm at least like 40% on there. Proof, okay? Anyway, so, all right, I don't want people to be like in pain and suffering. So the first part of this question is, actually before I say that, this is about, I'm so nervous. I'm not nervous, okay. The other day, it was nice too. Alright. 1, 2, 3. I have not thought about no, I have thought about the consequences. Okay. I don't know a lot. I've read the Bible, but I've only read like the first couple of books or whatever in the Bible. And I was reading it in like chronological order. And so, I don't know. I read no, wait a minute. When I read the Bible, I read it in chronology, but then I found like a copy of the New Testament, and then I read up until the part where, they're talking about like not mixing garments, and then when I read the Bible, the Old Testament, I got up to some part where they're talking about, it's just like a bunch of names, like this person's the son of, and so on, or whatever. So, okay. I just want to... I want to say this. This is difficult. When I first said it, all right, come on, I can do this. All right. In the beginning, all right, they got these two people. All right, there's Adam, okay? And then, they get the rib, and then there's Eve. And these two, in the beginning, they're just hanging out. They got no problems. They are, just living off of the garden, and everything is nice. And then, the snake, serpent, or whatever comes along and says, hey, what about that apple over there? See, because now I can't say that, because now I'm consciously thinking. Anyway. Nah, actually I will. Yeah, okay. So, the snake says, hey, how about that apple, And, and then Eve, says, all right. And she reaches for the apple or whatever, and then they get kicked out of heaven. I don't remember if the snake got kicked out of heaven, but the question, all right, so sometimes when you're reading something, you need to know if it's like symbolic or literal. Sometimes it's both, and you need to know how because sometimes you need to understand a thing literally, and sometimes you need to understand a thing symbolically. And as you're living your life, if you are, you are needing to discern which is the best way to apply this, symbolic or literal, okay? So, the question here is the earth, come on, all right, come on, this is, I know, all right. So, I was thinking about this because most religions are all about going to heaven, okay? You're here, but there's some better place, it's like you're gonna get 72 virgins in heaven, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, and they're always trying to take you somewhere other than right here. This is what I've noticed about religions. They're never about, I have not yet met, there are probably, earth-type religions, but they don't glorify the earth, okay? They don't say, oh, the earth is some wonderful place, and you're already in heaven. I have not yet read, I'm sure it might. So, my question here is, symbolically, it seems to me, okay, I know I've constantly been saying, oh, you should try and, you should not be leaving the earth. This is what I've been saying. I think maybe there are things out there that you're not aware of, and I think if you just waited a little bit, you'd find that the earth is, not so bad. And whatever misery you're experiencing while you were on the earth, my arm just, come on. All right. Whatever misery you're experiencing while you're on the earth is because of your intent to leave the earth. Like even people long ago, probably, looking up at the night sky, even if they didn't know what they were looking at, or it seemed like they didn't, were probably thinking, man, if I could just leave this place, and the misery that we experience in this life is the result of our intent to leave. So, in the beginning, they don't mention Jesus at all. Okay, he's not mentioned, it's Adam and Eve, they're hanging out, no problems whatsoever. So I'm wondering, wouldn't that be like a type of heaven? Like, they have no problems, there's nothing to worry about, they're just living, and then, the snake says, reach for the apple. And if you're looking at this symbolically, to me anyway, well, wouldn't the moon kind of be symbolic of, the apple? Look, reach for the moon. Reach for the moon. Try and leave the earth. Leave the earth, I think is what the suggestion is. And I'm wondering, like, is it like a trick? Is it a trick, like get you to try and want to leave this place, so that, so you might be saying, well, why do you think that? Well, okay, there are a couple of like clues, like not necessarily. Oh God, this is hard. All right, 8 minutes. Come on. All right. So then later on, this guy comes along, and so as you know, my name is Josh, and sometimes when you want to say that you're like, joking around, you say, oh, just joshing you. I'm just joshing you, that's all. And as you, and look, I'm not trying to, whatever, but, even, all right, come on. Josh is, derives, comes from, or is at least a part of the same name family, etymology or whatever, as, Yeshua and, Josh, Yeshua, Jesus, whatever. So, why is there a word that means joke that is so closely associated with the word Jesus? And so I got to thinking, if this guy, all right, if I build a car, okay, if I build a toilet, for example, a toilet. A toilet is a perfected instrument, okay? Indoor plumbing has pretty much been perfected. We don't have a lot of problems with indoor plumbing. People are waging war over indoor plumbing. So I gotta ask if this was like the correct thing if this is the correct thing to do, this guy, teaching us all about this, oh, if you do this, you'll go to heaven, and so on and so forth, then why have things why have things been so, miserable? Why has there been so much blood and pain as a result of what this guy said? So, with regards to indoor plumbing, like, it was designed, it worked, and that's it. We don't have any problems with indoor plumbing. Like, it's fine. So, you can tell. Stabilize. All right, I gotta use my other hand. I'm so nervous. Oh, that's why. All right. So, I don't know if I'm all right. So the question is the Earth heaven? And if the snake or the serpent is suggesting by you, if the snake's suggesting you to leave the Earth, verily, my eloquence hath fled my soul. I believe that if you leave the Earth, eventually it will become a heaven to you. I believe that leaving the Earth will only produce misery and pain and suffering for you, and I think this might be why they say the meek shall inherit the Earth, because the Earth is heaven. And if you are not listening to the snake, then that means that you are meek. So I want to know if this is true. So I'm saying this to speculate. This is speculation, by the way. I'm not confirming. I'm not saying, oh, I've done so much. I want to know if this is true. Because if it is, then we might have to reassess some things. Because, oh, very good. Oh, is that what? Okay. So, well, the first video I made was great. Like, it was flowing, it was great. I did some name drops, it was wonderful. But I can't, I don't have a phone number, so. If only I was living indoors, and then I could just, talk for a long, anyway, all right. So, well, why did you just do a two-part video? I don't do two parts, okay? I got my own thing, okay? All right. You know what? Let me just put it simply. I want to know, is the Earth heaven? And are we, as a race, the human race, or whoever lives here, being tricked into believing that heaven is somewhere other than the Earth? And in fact, maybe if we decide to live on the Earth, we might live a little longer and a little bit in more joyous gratitude, because if I'm not mistaken, this place is pretty neat. So I have tried to give you an example here. A couple of things like, oh, why does Josh mean joke? And is the moon symbolic or is the apple symbolic of the moon? And is leaving the Earth ultimately you going to hell? And in fact, is everything outside of the Earth hell? Because, we always say, oh, hell is down and heaven is up. But what if it's like reverse? What if, what if the Bible is simply the memory of a group of people who left the Earth and who missed it so dearly, and yet it came, that memory of them having left. And maybe that's why they, killed Jesus, because he told a really bad joke about those people who left, and then, other things. So I just want you to think about this. Well, I don't know if I want you to think about it, but if it is an important thing, if it is relevant to your happiness and contentment while you are wanting to be appreciative of the gifts that you have been given, I hope, or I would like to believe that this is of benefit to you. Oh, and I haven't read the Bible in its entirety anyway, so I mean, what the fuck do I know? Thank you.